Sir, roll number 13 present আছে.
13 is present already. Okay, so start with the phasor diagram of the series RLC circuit. Last day we see that what happen if we give the pure AC across a resistance, across a pure inductance, across a pure capacitance, and we have already derived this formula CVIL, that CIVIL. That means in case of capacitor, the current is leading from the voltage by an angle 90 degree, and in case of an inductor, as the V is placed before I, so voltage is lead from the current by an angle 90 degree. Now come to this one. So first we do the series RC circuit. What happen if we just give the a pure AC across a series RC circuit? So here you see there is a resistance and there is a capacitance. The voltage across the resistance is VR and the voltage across the capacitance is VC. Now which quantity should I take as a reference in this circuit?
Sir, current. Sir, current.
Current, because we know that the current in a series circuit, the current is common to both the component, the resistance and the capacitance. So that's why we take the current as a reference. So first I draw the current here. This is the reference axis, and as I mentioned before that the current should not be more than the voltage across the resistance. Current is always less than the resistance, but for the illustration purpose we just extend the line. So this is the current axis, and we know that the voltage across the resistance is in the same phase. That's why we draw the VR, that means the voltage across resistance, in this particular current axis. What about the VC? What about the VC and I? VC is the voltage across the capacitance. So this voltage leads or lags from the current.
So voltage in capacitor lags.
So voltage in capacitor lags. So that's why you see that I draw the voltage across the capacitor in this way, because this one is lags from the current by an angle 90 degree. So this angle is 90 degree. Now, what is the summation of this VR and VC? If we just take the voltage across the resistance plus the voltage across the capacitance, then we get the supply voltage V, because this V is actually distribute itself among the capacitance and the resistance. That's why if we take the phasor summation VR plus VC, then we get the V. This is our supply voltage. And the angle which is made between the voltage, means the supply voltage, and the current through the circuit is called the phase angle, which is phi here, and this phi is lagging. But what is the lagging angle? It is between 0 degree to 90 degree, but except these two limits. It should not be 0 degree, it should not be 90 degree, but it is between 0 degree to 90 degree, because if it is 0 degree, then it's a pure resistance circuit, resistive circuit, and if it is 90 degree, then it's a pure capacitive circuit. But here you see it's a mixed circuit comprising two component, resistance and capacitance. That's why the angle is lagging, but the lagging angle is between 0 degree to 90 degree without these two limits. So this is called the phasor diagram, and this is called the voltage triangle. So in this voltage triangle, except the I, whatever is left, it is called the voltage angle. This is the voltage across the resistance, this is the voltage across the capacitance, and this is our supply voltage V. And this supply voltage is nothing but the summation of VR plus VC. And this is called the impedance triangle, because if we just divide this voltage triangle by the current, then we get the resistance XC. XC is what? XC is capacitive
reactance.
So this one is the capacitive reactance. Very good. And what is ZC? ZC is the impedance of the circuit. Okay, and here you see this one, it should not be containing any arrow, because these are all scalar quantity. This voltage is the vector quantity, current is a vector quantity, but the resistance is a constant value. So this one is a scalar quantity. So you should not put any arrow in this impedance triangle. This one is called the impedance triangle. Now, from this voltage triangle, or from this one, we can write this is V square equal to VR square plus VC square, because you see this is the V square, which is equal to VC square plus VR square. Now what is VR square? VR square is nothing but R square plus I square, And what is Vc square? Vc square is nothing but I into Xc whole square. Okay. Then if you divide all these sides by I, then it's coming V by I whole square equal to R square plus Xc square, or V by I equal to root under R square plus Xc square equal to Zc. So Zc is the impedance of that circuit. And why it is written Zc? Because these circuits contain this is a capacitive circuit, but obviously not a purely capacitive circuit. So that's why Zc is written, and this Z or the impedance is nothing but the root under resistance square plus reactance square. So Zc equal to root under resistance square plus reactance square, and this is called the impedance of the series RC circuit. Then tan phi equal to Vc by Vr. If you just take either the voltage triangle or the impedance triangle, then it is coming Vc by Vr or Xc by R from the impedance triangle. Sin phi equal to Vc by V, Xc by Zc, and cos phi equal to this one. So many formulas are given. If you are able to remember this particular figure, then you can easily find out the different parameters like the VR, Vc, V, then the angle, all this kind of thing using this simple formula. Come to this one. This is the series RLC circuit. What happened if we connect a pure AC across a series RLC circuit? This is the figure. The voltage across the resistance is VR. The voltage across the inductance is VL. The voltage across the capacitance is VC. And this is their individual phasor diagram, because we know that in case of the resistance, voltage and current are lie in the same axis or in the same parallel line, so the angle between them is 0 degree. In case of pure inductance, voltage leads from the current by an angle 90 degree. So leading means anti-clockwise direction. So this is the phasor diagram for this particular component only, and this is the phasor diagram for the pure capacitance. And we know that in case of a pure capacitance, current leads from the voltage across the capacitance by an angle 90 degree. So this is the 90 degree angle. Now, as this is a series circuit, so we have to take the current as a reference. So this is our reference axis, current. VR should fall in the same reference axis because this is the voltage across the resistance. So the phase angle between them is 0 degree. Then VL is leading. So that means in case of a inductor, current leads from the voltage across the inductor leads from the current by an angle 90 degree. So it is in that direction, and VC should be in this direction. Okay. What is V? So V is nothing but the phasor or the vector summation of VR plus VL plus VC. So we have to take this one. So how to take this one? So obviously here we considered that VL, that means the voltage across the inductor, is not equal to the voltage across the capacitor, because if these two things are same, it's again become a resistive circuit. So here we consider VL not equal to VC. So what we need to do? We need to find out VL minus VC. So from this line, VL line, if we just subtract the value of VC, then it is coming VL minus VC. Then if we just take the addition of VR and the VL minus VC, it's coming this way. So this is the voltage, and which is the summation of VR and the difference between VL minus VC. And this angle is called the phase angle. Phase angle, the definition is the angle between the supply voltage and the current through the circuit. It's called the phase angle. So this is the voltage triangle. So V, this is the VL minus VC, and this is the supply voltage. And here we consider also that VL is greater than VC. Okay, so here we consider VL is greater than VC. So we get this kind of phasor diagram. From this one, just do the numerator, do the derivative. V square equal to VR square plus VL minus VC whole square. Then VR is equal to R square I square. VL equal to how much? XL into I. VC equal to XC into I. So then divide both the side by I. It's coming V by I whole square equal to this one. So ultimately we are getting Z. That means the inductance of this particular circuit is R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's see what happened. And this is the impedance triangle. So from the voltage triangle, if we just divide it by the I, it's get the impedance triangle. This is the R. This axis is the R. This is XL minus XC, and this is the impedance Z. And we just write the defined values of this angle: tan phi, sin phi, cos phi, this one.
Sir, Excel की सब समय VC XC থেকে বড় হয় নাকি
So
এটা
please be
assumption?
patient. So it's coming to this one.
Okay, sir.
So now when XC is greater than XL, then what will happen? So when XC is greater than XL, then what happened? Because one thing is that in college, I need to log in after some time. Okay. So in any time I may be logged out and the internet may be dropped down. So in that time, if you not hear from me, just inform me, because I'm not able to check the WhatsApp. So please call me in that time that I'm disconnected. So in that time, I need to log in again. So next, see what happened when XC is greater than XL. So this thing is remain same. The I axis, the VR, the VL, and this VC, their position is remain same. Only here we consider that the value of the VC is greater than VL. So here we need to do VC minus VL, because we are considering that XC is greater than XL. Same current is passing through both the capacitor and inductor. So if we just multiply both the side by I, it's become I into XC. It's greater than I into XL, and I into XC means VC, greater than I into XL means VL. So here again we need to draw this one. So this is our phasor diagram. This is the voltage triangle, and this is the impedance triangle. Now the phase angle is lagging. This is the not the identical, but only the mirror. You can see the reflective image is that compared to this one. But in that case, the phase angle is lagging, and in that case, when the VL is greater than VC, the phase angle is leading. Okay. So from this one, again, if we do all these things, then we coming the same kind of thing. Here, the Z equal to root under R square plus XC minus XL square. Initially it was, or previously it was XL minus XC. Now as XC is more than XL, so it's become XC minus XL square. Okay. Now one thing I like to mention, so what will be the general formula for the impedance of a RLC circuit? Because if I just tell you the RLC circuit, you are not able to understand, or you are not able to measure which one is more, the voltage across the inductor, or the inductive impedance, inductive reactance is more, or the capacitive reactance is more. So what will be the general formula for Z? Because we have two formula, one is this one, another is this one. So which one we should take? So general formula for Z is Z equal to root under R square plus XC difference XL whole square. What is the meaning of this difference sign? Difference sign means among the XC and XL, which one is more, you need to place it first. If XC is more, then it become XC minus XL. If XL become more, then we should take XL minus XC. So that is called the difference, and this is the sign of the difference, like a sinusoidal signal. So this is the general formula for impedance of a RLC circuit: root under R square plus XC difference XL whole square. Okay. Now what happened if the voltage across the inductor is become the voltage across the capacitor?
Sir, it will be a pure resistive circuit.
It will be
Sir,
pure
it will be
resistive
pure
circuit, but
resistance because equal to
because-
Z
Sir,
equal to
VC
R.
equal to VL, so they
yeah,
they
that
they
will
will
to R.
cancel
be
out.
purely resistive
Resistive
circuit.
circuit,
But
yes.
in this, why not I able to erase all these things? Okay. So, but in the circuit, the resistance, the impedance is physically present. That impedance is physically present. That capacitor is also physically present. But as their impedance value, or as their reactance value is same, that's why the voltage across the inductor and the voltage across the capacitor is remain same, and that term becomes 0. Okay, this term becomes 0, so Z equal to become R, just like a pure inductor. So what will be the condition when we meet this type of situation, when in a circuit the physical components are present, but actually you are considering only the resistance value? So this condition is called resonance. Okay, so after this particular chapter we'll come to this one, and we see that what is called the resonance and what will be the advantage and disadvantage of this particular condition. But remember, in this time, just remember, when XL become XC, this impedance of the circuit become pure. Sorry, this one is not R squared. That is
R
actually
is equal to R. So
this one is actually R. So this is become the purely resistive, and this condition is called the resonance. Now come to this one, power in AC circuit. How to find out the power? Because in case of DC circuit, there is no confusion. Power is nothing but the multiplication of voltage and current. Only one formula is used. And what will be the unit of the power in DC circuit? What is the unit of the power? Watt. So if the current is in ampere and the voltage is in volt, then we get the watt as a power, if we just multiply this kind of thing. But the problem is that in case of AC circuit, as 4 types of values are there: instantaneous value, peak value, average value, RMS values. So then also the power has so many values. So let's find out what are the different types of power in AC circuit and how to find out the power in case of resistive circuit or inductive circuit like this one. So in an AC circuit, the power at any instant is called instantaneous power. So first one is the instantaneous power. What is the definition of instantaneous power? At any particular instant, because this is a sine wave, so at different instant of time, we have different values because the values are continuously changing. So at a particular instant, what will be the value of the voltage and current? Then if we just multiply these two things, then we get the instantaneous power. So it is equal to the product of voltage and current at that particular instant. So obviously at the instant, when you mention the instantaneous power, the time should be related. Suppose at 1 second after the circuit is switched on, what will be the instantaneous power? After 2 seconds, what will be the instantaneous power? Like this one. So the time or the phase is related with the instantaneous power because this value is also changing. So P, this is denoted by small p. Small p equal to small v into I, because this value is continuously changing. Where P equal to instantaneous power, V equal to instantaneous voltage, I equal to instantaneous current of a particular instant. Come to the next one. What will be the average power? So average power is the integration of the instantaneous power with respect to the time period. So 1 by time period, 0 to t, p dt. So this is called the average power. So this is also called the active power or true power. And remember one thing, that we can measure this power using the measuring instrument. We can only measure this power using the measuring instrument. Because there are also also other powers are there, but this cannot be measured. Using some formula, we can easily calculate that value, but there is no instrument which can give the value of that other power apart from the active power. Active power can be measured by the wattmeter. So this wattmeter can measure the active power or the true power. Now we need to find out the formula for this power. So power in a pure resistance. So this is the graph, because in case of pure resistance, we know that the voltage and current are in the same phase. That's why they are, what is the meaning of the same phase? Same phase means they are originating from the same point, they are terminating at the same point, like this one. So they are terminating or crossing the zero lines, reference line at this point, they are originating from this point, they are again meet the zero line through this point. So all the phase are same. So this is the voltage, this is the current, V equal to Vm sin omega t and I equal to Im sin omega t also, because we know that in case of pure resistance, the phase angle is 0. So instantaneous power, P equal to V into I, or just replace the value of V and I by this one. It's become Vm In sin square omega t. Now just replace this sin square omega t by this one, 1 minus cos 2 omega t Vm Im by 2, 1 minus cos 2 omega t. So active power PR equal to 1 by 2 pi, because 2 pi is the time period, 1 by 2 pi, 0 to 2 pi, p d theta, or you can say p omega t, because omega t is nothing but theta. So just do the integration. Ultimately, you are getting Vm Im by 2. So after the integration, you are getting this one, Vm Im by 2. Now we can rewrite this expression as Vm by root 2 into Im by root 2. So obviously that is valid. So Vm by root 2 and Im by root 2. So what is the Vm by root 2? Vm means what? Vm means the maximum value. Okay, that peak value is called the Vm. That particular peak value is called the Vm. That particular peak value is called the Im. So if we just divide the peak or the maximum value by root 2, we will get the RMS value. So that means in case of a resistive circuit, the power is nothing but the multiplication of Vrms into Irms. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
you see
sir.
the power has also in the same phase. When the voltage and currents are originating, the power is also originating. When they are become zero, the power is also become zero, because they are just the multiplication of this kind of thing. Okay, so voltage, current, and Acha, is this figure correct or wrong? Is this figure correct or wrong? So here you see, this one is what? This one is minus V. This one is minus I, because this is the negative axis. So that means power, if I multiply to negative quantity, it become power. So that's figure is not correct. It should be like this. Got it? This thing should not be there. It should be all power is always positive in case of a resistance. There is no negative power.
Sir, minus V into minus I করলে তো সেই পজিটিভই আসছে মানে দুটো
So that's why positive means in this axis. So that's why I redraw the circuit. This is actually the power. That power waveform, power is not like a sine wave here. Power is a half sine wave, or only the positive half should be present.
Yes, sir. It's like mod of sin x.
Yes, it's like this one, like this. Power is always positive. It should not be negative. Come to this one, power in a pure inductance. What happen if we connect a AC source across a pure inductance? So obviously current will be circulated. Then what will be the power consumption by that inductance? So in a purely inductive circuit, the voltage leads the current by 90 degree. So from the civil formula, CIVIL, rather from the VIL formula, VIL. So voltage leads the current by an angle 90 degree. So here you take the current as the reference. So I equal to Im sin theta. So obviously the voltage equal to Vm sin theta plus 90 degree, or pi by 2, because the voltage is leading in case of a pure inductive circuit. So instantaneous power, look, there is a similarity between all the derivation. We always start from the instantaneous power. So we have an expression of the instantaneous power like this one. Then from the diagram, we need to find out the what you call the time period, and we need to apply that formula here. Okay. So instantaneous power P equal to V into I. So just multiply, replace this value, Vm Im sin theta plus 90 degree. So it's called Vm Im sin theta cos theta, or you can say Vm Im by 2 sin 2 theta. So active power PL, it's equal to 1 by time period, 0 to time period, P d theta. What will be the, why we take the theta, pi here as a time period? Because you see, this one is, what is the phase here? It's equal to theta or 2 theta?
So it's 2 theta.
It's 2 theta. That means this power is actually oscillating with double the frequency. Okay. If the voltage and current oscillate like this one, then the power is actually oscillating double the frequency. Double the frequency means within this one, here you see only one cycle is there, but in case of power, there will be 2 cycles like this. So it's as 2 theta is there. So that's why the power is actually oscillating double the frequency. So here you see, this is the one complete cycle for voltage and current up to this distance, because this is equal to 2 pi. But within this 2 pi, how many cycles are there for the power? You see 2 powers are there. 2 power cycle is there. Positive half, negative half, positive half, negative half. So you see power has a phase of pi. Sorry, not the phase. Power has a time period of pi. So that's why 1 by pi, 0 to pi, p d theta. Now just do the integration and find out this limits value. It's coming 0. If you just, in your free time, if you just do the integration, then you will see that the active power is 0 in case of a pure inductive circuit. So thus in a purely inductive circuit, the active power over a complete cycle is 0. Because you see that power has a positive half here and negative half here. So what will be the area of this positive half? The same area we can observe in the negative half, but in the opposite direction. So if we just take the summation over a complete cycle of the power, it will become 0. Got it? Another objective question, what will be the power consumption by the pure inductive circuit? So active power consumption by the pure inductive circuit is 0 over a complete cycle. I will explain it more after this one. Am I connected?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
So that means till now we learned that in a purely inductive circuit, the active power consumption over a complete cycle is 0. Come to this one, reactive volt ampere. So what is the definition of this reactive volt ampere? And it is denoted by QL. So it is actually the rate of interchange of reactive energy between the inductive load and the source. So by convention, QL is taken as positive. So actually the definition is, it is actually the rate of interchange of reactive energy between the inductive load and the source. Though the active power consumption by the inductor is 0, but inductor, if we connect the inductor, then what happened? In case of positive half, it actually consumed the energy and it actually stored the energy in electromagnetic form. But in the negative half, what happened? In case of negative half, the stored energy is actually released and it is again returned back to the source. That's why inductor stored the energy in the positive half, released the energy in the negative half. As if you are putting a mug of water and put it in the another bucket, and in the next instant you put another one mug of water from that bucket and put it in the previous bucket. So ultimately the water is remain same, but after some time what happened? You will become tired. There is no work done. Work done is 0, because whatever be the initial amount of water in the two buckets, they are remain same. But after some time you will be tired because you are actually doing something. So this thing is called the reactive volt ampere. So obviously some energy will be lost across this one, and this is called the reactive volt ampere QL. You understand the concept? Because storing energy means the electrons need to be flow from the source to the inductor in the positive half. Again, the inductors are returned back to the source in the negative half. So that means the interchange of this energy between the source and the load will be done every time. So that in a complete cycle, the active work done is 0. So active power consumption is 0. But some energy will be lost in this one, and this energy is called the active reactive volt ampere. So that's why they are called reactive. This is not active, this is reactive. And QL is taken as positive, and the formula for QL is that it's equal to Vm Im by 2, or you can say it's equal to Vrms into Irms. But in case of resistance, the unit for this one become watt. But in this case, when you find out the reactive volt ampere, it become VAR. What is the meaning of VAR? Reactive volt ampere. So this is for volt, this is for ampere, and this one is for reactive. So VAR means reactive volt ampere. So in a numerical problem, if the voltage across the this voltage across the capacitor, the current through the capacitor is given, then I think using this formula you can easily find out the value of this reactive volt ampere by the inductor. But remember one thing, that if you write the watt here, then it will be a wrong thing, because inductor doesn't consume any active energy. And in case of the active energy, the unit is only watt. In case of the inductor, the unit is VAR, volt ampere reactive. Come to this one, power in a pure capacitance. So in a purely capacitive circuit, the current leads the voltage by 90 degree from the civil.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, why QL equal to VM IM by 2?
Oh, that one.
Yes, sir.
That one is if you just take the power consumption by the inductor in a this half cycle, like up to this one, so it will be pi by 2. So 1 by or the 2 by pi, 0 to pi by 2, Vm Im by 2 sine 2 theta d theta, then you will get this one.
Oh, okay, sir.
Because remember one thing, that what is the average value of a pure sine wave for a complete cycle?
Sir, average value pure sine wave for complete cycle is 0.
It's 0 because whatever, because pure sine wave means like this.
Like, yes, sir.
Yes, it's like this one, and whatever be the energy positive or whatever be the positive area here, the same as the negative area. So if you just take the summation, it will become 0. But how to, so how you define the average value of a sine wave? So obviously in that case we need to take the half cycle average. So half cycle average, either this one or this one, both will be the same. This is the positive, that is the negative, that is the separate issue. So in that case we have to take the integration up to the half cycle.
Pi by 2 portion.
Get this one, pi by 2. No, not this one. This is actually the 0 pi 2 pi. So it's equal to 0 to pi
0 to pi.
for the pure sine wave. Similarly, if you do this thing, it's going to become VmIm by 2. So here as the current is leads from the voltage by an angle 90 degrees. So here you take the voltage as reference. So this is the current expression. So instantaneous value of power, similarly as the previous slides, is equal to VmIm by 2 sine 2 theta. And here again you see that this power oscillates double the frequency from voltage and current, because the voltage and current have theta, the phase angle, and here it is 2 theta. So that means this one is oscillating double the frequency. So active power, again, if you do this thing, because this is the pi is 1 by pi 0 to pi p d theta, if you just do this thing again, it is coming 0. So similar to the pure inductive circuit, in a pure capacitive circuit, the active power over a complete cycle is also 0. So that means when we supply the AC across a capacitor, in positive half, the capacitor stored the energy in electrostatic form. And in the negative half, the electrostatic energy is released and it will return back to the source. So this phenomena is happen in every cycle. So if we take only one positive cycle, only one complete cycle, then the total energy consumption by the capacitor is become 0. So, but some energy will be lost to interchange the power between the source and load every time, like in the previous way. So that's why it is again coming reactive volt amperes. Here you take the QC, and by default QC is taken as negative. Okay. So it is the rate of interchange of reactive energy between a capacitive load and the source. Rate of interchange of reactive energy, because the energy is always transferred. In positive half, transfer the source to load. In the negative half, load to source. So every time the energy is transferred either from source to load or load to source. So this is the expression for that one. And as the total or the complete, for the complete cycle, the active power consumption is 0. That's why we call it the reactive energy. So again, this one is the VmIm by 2 or Vrms IRMS. The unit is same as the previous one, volt ampere reactive, VAR. Okay. So sometimes it is called the reactive power in a capacitive circuit also. So come to this one. So power in a general series circuit. What will be the expression for general series circuit power? So in general case, consider the phase difference between voltage and current is phi, and current lags from voltage. Okay, this is our general consideration. Generally, this is happen. Generally, the current lags from the voltage by some angle. So this angle here we consider as phi. So we take it as reference. Voltage equal to Vm sin omega t, and I equal to Im sin omega t minus phi, because the current is lagging. That's why the minus sign is there. So instantaneous power equal to V into I, or if you just replace the value, Vmin sin omega t minus phi, that should be phi. So Vmim by 2 cos phi minus cos 2 omega t minus phi. If we take the average value over a complete cycle, it's become 1 by pi 0 to pi p d theta, and ultimately it is coming VRMS, IRMS, cos phi. So remember these things very carefully. Every time when you handle the AC, this expression is required. The active power for a general series circuit is VI cos phi. This V is the RMS value of the voltage, I is the RMS value of the current, cos phi is the phase angle between the cosine of the phase angle between the voltage and the current, and this is called the power factor. Now, how many types of powers are there? There are three types of power in case of AC circuit. One is called the active power. What is the definition of active power? So it is the power which is actually dissipated in the circuit resistance. The expression is P equal to I square R or VI cos phi watt. Okay. Here we always consider that the current lags voltage by an angle phi. Am I connected?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Second one is the reactive power. Reactive power is what? It is the power developed in the inductive reactance or the capacitive reactance of the circuit. So there are two. Inductive reactance means XL, capacitive reactance means XL. So the power developed in that particular XL and XC is called the reactive power. And this reactive power is nothing but I square into X. X may be anything. X may be XL or it may be any XC. So its reactive power is I square into X, or it can call from this particular diagram I square Z sin phi, or I Z means I into Z. This I square is can be broken like this one, I into IZ sin phi, or you can say VI sin phi. So you see, in case of active power, the formula is VI cos phi, unit is watt. In case of reactive power, the formula is VI sin phi, unit is VAR, volt ampere reactive. These V and I are the RMS values of the voltage and current. Come to the another thing which is called the apparent power. What is the meaning of this apparent power? First, just let me tell you the definition of the this apparent power. So it is given by the product of RMS values of the applied voltage and the circuit current. That's all. So S equal to nothing but VRMS into IRMS, just like the DC. S equal to VRMS into IRMS. Now if you just replace all these value, because we know that V equal to I into Z. So I into Z into I, or I square Z. So the three formulas are there. According to the data given in the question, you can use the VI, you can use the I square Z like this one. And this one is as a unit volt ampere. So apparent power means it is given by the product of the RMS values of the voltage and current, and it is the unit is volt ampere. So active power watt, reactive power volt ampere reactive, apparent power VA. Now, who can tell me what is the significance of the apparent power? Because this too is easy. What is if some resistance is present there, obviously there should be some I square loss. So this loss is actually called the active power. If there is some reactive, if there is some inductance or capacitance present in the circuit, then some reactive energy will be lost across this one, and this is called the reactive power. So what is the significance of the apparent power? This is actually the power triangle. You can see the active power is placed here in the reference axis. This is the active power I square R. This is the reactive power I square into XL or XC, whatever it was. You can call it the I square into X, and that is actually the sum of these two power is called the apparent power. S equal to VI or I square Z. So I square R, I square X, I square Z. This is coming from the triangle, impedance triangle. But what is the significance of this one? From where we get the power? Because some power is required in your house to switch on all the electrical appliances present there. So who is actually give you the power? Hello?
Sir, the AC source.
Yes, the AC source.
So from where the AC source is present? In your home, is there any AC source?
No, sir, from transformer.
Yes, sir, from
the-
transformer.
So you can say not from the transformer, from the road
Means,
pole. Okay, roadside
yes.
pole.
Okay, sir. Huh.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
from where the power is coming to the roadside pole, it is actually coming from the power plant.
Power
Power
plant.
plant.
Yes.
Okay, so power plant is actually responsible to generate all the electric power which is consumed by the load to run the electrical appliances. So that means when and in your home, you only pay the bill to use the active power, whatever is required to run the motor, to all these do all these things. So this is nothing but the active power. So we only pay the electric bill based on the active power. Reactive power, we doesn't need to pay the bill. But reactive power is there because in the transmission line the capacitance is there, the inductance are also there, so some power is lost with this inductive and capacitance. So who is actually responsible for generating this one? Obviously the power plant, because we, the consumer, we are actually using the active power, but in the transmission lines the reactance and the inductance are present and some power loss are there. So as a generator, the power plant should generate the summation of all this power. So they actually generate the apparent power. They are, if somebody asks you that power plant generating the active power, the answer is no. Power plant is actually generating the apparent power, which is actually the summation of active power plus the reactive power. Active power is used by the load. Load means the consumer, obviously, and reactive power is used by the inductance and capacitance of the circuit. Very, very important term, the power factor. So it is actually the ratio of active power to the apparent power in an AC circuit. So power factor is the ratio between the active power and the apparent power. So active power is watt, apparent power is VA. Apparent power means the power which is generated in the power plant. The formula is this is equal to VI cos phi, this is equal to VI. These are all RMS values of the voltage and current. So ultimately left is cos phi. So this cos phi is called the power factor, and this phi is called the phase angle, or it is called the power factor angle rather. So cos phi means the power factor and phi means the power factor angle. So cosine of the phase angle is called the power factor of the circuit, phi is called the power factor angle. Now these two lines in a circuit where current lags the voltage is said to have a lagging power factor. Now you need to know the definition of the lagging power factor. So lagging power factor means in a circuit where the current lags from the voltage. What type of circuit it is when the current lags from the voltage?
Inductive circuit.
Sir, inductive.
Very good. So this is the inductive circuit. So in case of inductive circuit, we always observe the lagging power factor. And the circuit where current leads the voltage is said to have a leading power factor. So that means only in case of a capacitive circuit, we can observe the leading power factor. And remember this thing, due to the presence of the industry, in industry what is there? In industry, so many motors are there, and inside the motors, so many inductance are there, because you see that inside the motor, the coils are there. You have to do the experiment, this observation. You already done this one, the cut section of the machine. So you see that there is an armature coil is there, the field coils are also there in DC, and there is a stator winding, rotor winding. Winding means nothing but the coil. So these coil have a reactance. So that means in a motor we can observe the reactance. And industry use so many motors. So that's why in the real world the supply current generally lags from the voltage, because there is no capacitor connected. Industry, there is no capacitor. We need to install the capacitor to make the power factor balanced. But generally, due to the presence of the industry and so many motors, generally the supply current always lags from the voltage. In your home also, in your home the current is generally lag, because in your home the pump motor is there, the fans are there. So these are all, some motors are there. Whenever the motor is present, the inductors are present, and whenever the inductors are present, current always lags from the voltage. So there is a formula. Power factor is denoted by PF, small pf. Small pf means power factor. It's equal to P by S cos phi, or you can say it's equal to R by Z from the defined angle, from the defined triangle rather, because you have studied defined triangle. So what is the cause of this angle? Who can tell me what is the cause of this angle?
So it's VR by V.
It's VR by V. So that means VR by V is also a power factor. Similarly, from this one, you see, what is the cause of this angle?
So R by Z.
R by Z.
R by Z. So that means all this thing is written actually here in the gist form. So P by S. P means the active power by the apparent power. Apparent power is denoted by S. Active power is denoted by P. These are P, Q, S. P means the active power. Q means the reactive power. S means the apparent power. So it's according to the definition, it is the ratio between the active and apparent power. So P by S, it is called the cos phi. And this cos phi can be defined as R by Z or VR by V, like this one. Come to this one, quality factor. So quality factor in general, the term quality factor is defined as 2 pi into the maximum stored energy per cycle, then energy dissipated by per cycle. So this is actually the nature of the AC waveform. And if it is a good quality factor, then it should be 0, like a pure sine wave. In case of pure sine wave, whatever be the energy stored in the positive half, all the energy should be released in the negative half, because these two are identical. So that's why in case of pure sine wave, this factor is 0. So if any other form is there, then we need to find out the maximum stored energy per cycle, then how much energy is dissipated per cycle. This is called the quality factor. So 241, so I have a class up to 3:15, because as I am not giving any break, so up to 3:15. Okay. Now, whatever I am going to teach you right now, that is very, very important up to the whole life of your engineering study, as well as for the higher study, as well as the industry also. So today we will start with the J operator. Now, this one you know, this one you already know, but as it is written in the J operator, so it may be difficult to understand, but if I explain it like this one, that will become more easy to you. Let me find out the pen. Okay. Suppose this capital A is a complex number. How many people heard this term complex number?
Me.
Sami.
Acha. How many people are there who doesn't heard the term complex number? I'm not asking about anything of the complex number. Who doesn't heard this term? Ke shoneni, the complex number. Is there anybody? No. So I think everybody have listened this term complex number. Now, what is the complex number? In mathematics, there is a real plane. There is a real plane, there is an imaginary plane. And if the number is lie between these two things, which can be related by the real plane as well as the imaginary plane, then we can say it as a complex number. And how to represent the complex number? This complex number may be represented like A plus, how? A plus
IB.
So
I into say B. So this is the this A is the real part of this complex number, B is the imaginary part. How it is become imaginary operator? Because that one is multiplied with the imaginary operator I. Now, what is the value of I?
root over minus 1.
Root minus
So
1.
everything. Very good. So this one is root under minus 1. And you know that we not able to take any square root of a minus number. So that's why this is a imaginary number.
Yes, sir, yes.
Now, this one we actually going to study. In electrical engineering, how to define current? By which notation?
I.
I. Very good. So in electrical engineering, as this particular notation I is already reserved for the current, I equal to current here. Oh, CU, very, very difficult to write. CURRENT. Okay. So as in the electrical engineering, I is reserved for the current. That's why the same thing we actually use as a J operator. Now you understand what is the meaning of J? So J and I both are exactly same, but as the sign, as the notation I is already reserved for the current in electrical engineering, so that's why here we use the term J. Otherwise, the value is exactly same. J is nothing but the root under -1. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what is the relation between this complex number and the electrical engineering? Let's see. So complex number A equal to A plus JB. So I have already explained why write the J here, because we should not write the I, because I is already reserved for some of the very important term in the electrical engineering, which is the current. So complex number this one, where A, 1 minute please, where A is the real part and B is the imaginary part. So J is an operator which, when operated upon a phasor, rotate its anti-clockwise direction by 90 degree without changing its magnitude. What is the meaning of this particular line? J is an operator, or you can say in mathematics the I is an operator which, when operated or multiplied with some phasor, then it rotates the phasor anti-clockwise direction by 90 degree without changing its magnitude. The meaning is that, suppose we have a phasor like this, okay, and say this one is say P. How to represent J into P? How to represent J into P? Here in this figure, pictorial way, how to represent J into P? What is written here? J is an operator which, when operated upon a phasor, rotate it in anti-clockwise direction by 90 degree without changing its magnitude. So that means if J is multiplied with P, its magnitude remains same. Its magnitude remains same, only it rotates in the anti-clockwise direction by an angle 90 degree. So this is nothing but J into P. Got it?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
According to the definition, this is the meaning of this operator J or I, you can say, whatever you can call. If it is multiplied with something, it just rotates the value of this phasor by 90 degree anti-clockwise direction. What is J square?
Sir, -1.
-1.
J square equal to -1. So that means, what is the value of J square into P?
Sir, it's -P.
It's minus P. Okay, it's minus P. Very good. Now, if this one is P, how to represent minus P?
So 180 degree opposite side.
Very good. So that means 90 degree anti-clockwise, first J, second J, another 90 degree anti-clockwise. So ultimately we are getting minus J or minus P. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because here this one is actually the minus, this one is actually the J square into P. So J square means J into J. So for first J we need to move 90 degree anti-clockwise. For the second J, again we need to move 90 degree anti-clockwise. So ultimately we are getting opposite P, and we can say it is a minus P.
Sir, 90 degree clockwise rotation means just we are representing the same term in the complex axis.
Yes.
Is that right? Right. P is, if we say that the P is the amplitude of that thing, then in complex axis we are just multiplying the amplitude with the complex number to
So
represent
this 90 degree clockwise means you are just multiplying these in this complex notation. If
yes, sir.
If we write minus J into P, so that means it's equal to 90 degree clockwise.
Clockwise. Okay, sir.
Okay, CW. Now, Why this thing is related? This thing is very much related. Let me see who can able to answer this one. These are very easy, don't worry. Let a and b both are complex number. Suppose a equal to a plus jb, b equal to c plus jd. Both a and b are the complex number. How to take? Oh, before we proceed, we need to understand this one first. This one a plus jb. What is the representation name? This form, because a can be represented in any other way, which is called the r angle theta. Both can be the complex number. One representation is a plus jb, another is r theta, because if this is the real axis and this is the imaginary axis, then suppose this is a number, so that number may be represented like this. So from the origin, first we need to move a, small a, then we need to move in the complex form or in the imaginary axis b. So in this way you can reach up to this point. This is called the Cartesian representation or rectangular representation. Or we can move directly from this one r. So this one is the r, which makes angle theta from the real axis. So in this way also we can find out the same point x. So this is called the polar representation. This is called the Cartesian representation. So this one is called a, this one is called b, and this one is called r. So that means, what is the formula? R square equal to how much?
Sir, b square plus a square.
A square plus b square. Yes, sir.
A square plus b square, very good. Or you can say r equal to root under a square plus b square. And what is the theta?
Sir, it's tan inverse
Tan inverse
b
Tan
b by
inverse
a.
b by a.
b by a.
Or sir, sin inverse b by r.
No, in
or
any case, I like to prefer to listen the answer using the tan. So it's equal to tan inverse b by a. Okay. And what is a? In with respect to r and theta, what is a? How to represent a?
R square minus b square.
No. This a. How to represent a in terms of r and theta from this?
Sir,
point?
it's r sin theta. R cos theta.
Oh.
R cos theta.
r cos
You
theta.
people know everything.
R cos theta.
So this one is r cos theta, and what is b?
Sir, r sin theta.
R sin theta. So this is the set of formula. This is the set of formula. If we know the value of the r and theta, then using this one we can easily find out the value of a and b. And this is the set of formula. If we know the value of a and b, then we can easily find out the value of r and theta, isn't?
Yes, sir.
The people who think that how these are coming, this is very easy. This is coming from the particular triangle, because this is a imaginary point x, so we can reach x in this way and in that way also. So from a triangle, and this one is r, this is the a, this is the b. So from this triangle we can find out r equal to root under a square plus b square, theta equal to tan inverse b by a, or we can find out a equal to r cos theta, because cos theta equal to a by r. So that means a equal to r cos theta, b equal to r sin theta. So we have 4 formulas in 2 sets. These sets is actually converting the polar rectangular to polar, and this set is actually converting the polar to rectangular. Okay. Clear what is called the rectangular representation, what is called the Cartesian representation, or
Yes,
sorry,
sir.
what is called the polar representation and what is called the Cartesian. This rectangular representation is generally not used. This is called the Cartesian representation, and this is called the polar representation. Everybody, is it clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Yes, sir, got it.
Whom it is not clear, please say. Okay. So I hope that everybody have a clear idea that how to represent a complex number. There are 2 forms. One is polar form, one is the Cartesian form. Now 254. Now we have 2 complex number a and b. Okay. How to find out A plus B? What will be the condition? I want to find out A plus B. How?
Sir, addition the real part to real part, and sir, addition the imaginary part
That
to
is
imaginary
actually
part.
the second part of the answer. But first is the condition. If I tell you that go to the market and bring a fresh apple for me, then what is the first condition? So answer this
Go to
question.
market. Go to
No.
the
I
market.
need to go to the market.
No, this is not the first condition. If I tell you that go to the market and bring a fresh fruit for me, first condition is who will pay the bill? Because in the market, nobody is going to give you an apple or any fruit freely. You need to pay or you need to buy this thing. So first condition is that who will pay the bill or from where the money came. So similarly, if we want to add A
A1
plus
is
B,
equal to A2.
where is A1 and A2?
A is equal to A1 plus.
No, acha, don't need to audit about this one. A equal to whatever, A equal to A plus JB, C plus JD, whatever is that. A is a complex number, B is also a complex number. I want to add A plus B. What is the first condition? I am not asking the answer. I am asking the what is the first condition to do the A plus B. Every time can I add A plus B? Or is there any condition, particular condition?
Both have to be complex number.
Both are the complex number. This is the obvious, this is the given condition. Answer is that A and B must be represented in the Cartesian form. Then only you can add the real number, you can add the imaginary number, as your friend already said. Is it? If I
Yes, sir.
tell you,
Yes, sir.
if I tell you A equal to R1 theta 1, B equal to R2 theta 2, then who want to give the answer very quickly? Give me the what is the value of A plus B now. Do it. Can you people instantly do it? No.
No, sir.
You
No,
need to
sir.
first convert
No,
the
sir.
polar to Cartesian for A, similarly polar to Cartesian for B, then you can easily add this thing. Now, if I tell you what is the value of AB, then let me see that who can able to answer first. A into B. Now I want to multiply A into B, where A equal to R theta 1, R1 theta 1, B equal to R2 theta 2. Now say how to find out A into B.
Sir, if you just transform the A and B with in the
Not
Euler's
required,
form
not required. This one is R1, R2
and
in
theta 1,
angle.
theta, okay,
No, theta 1 plus
plus theta
theta
2.
2. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Who can tell me A by B? How much it is?
Sir, theta 1 minus theta 2.
Theta 1 minus theta
R1
by R
By R2,
R1 by R2.
Theta minus
theta
theta 1
1
minus theta 2.
Very good. Theta 1
minus
minus theta 2. Now, if I ask you what is the value of A minus B, then you people not able to answer because you need to do something from the rectangular, from the polar representation. You are not able to tell me this value as well as this value very quickly as in case of AB and A by B. So that means now my aim is that I want to say this polar representation is required when we multiply or divide the complex number, and the Cartesian representation is required when we do the summation and the subtraction. Got it?
Yes, sir.
This one is required. Now, last thing, I just give A equal to 5 plus J4. Convert this one to the polar form. Just tell me the R value, tell me the theta value. Don't need to hurry up. This is not a competition. Learn slowly.
Theta equals to tan inverse 4 by 5.
I don't know what is called tan inverse. I just want to know the numerical value. That is the angle. 60 degree, 40 degree, 50 degree, and R is this is the value, not root under 4 square plus 5 square like this one.
Okay.
Sir, it's 6.4 and
Tell me up to 2 decimal place. 6 point
so 6.403 and the
400.
angle
Okay, 6.40 angle is
and the sir and the angle is coming 38.6 something.
8.66.
38.6 degree. Okay, everybody get this one. Hope so. I think your friend already get the correct answer. Hope everybody will do these things once upon a time
Yes, sir,
or
correct.
in a time, and they will get this
Yes,
one
sir.
6.40 and 38.6 degree. Now, in another expression, say A equal to mm, 18 angle 30 degree. So can somebody convert it in rectangular form?
So it's 18 18 bracket cos
I
30
don't know
plus
what is
sin.
18
Oh,
cos something.
sorry,
You
sir.
need
Sorry.
to tell me, because in the exam copy, if you write the answer is cos inverse something something something, the examiner will not give you the marks. You need to find out the marks. Calculator is allowed in the exam. Na? This is not a school. Scientific calculator is allowed in the exam.
So it's 9 plus
Exactly 9. হ্যাঁ তাই তো
no
9 হবে
9 হচ্ছে sir.
হ্যাঁ 30 half 9 plus
Sir, and it's the sign is coming 0 1 minute, sir.
Sir, it's 9
no,
into
sir.
root 3 plus I
sorry 9
into root 3 plus I. 9 into bracket root 3 plus I.
9 into bracket root 3
No,
plus
sir. It's sir. Sorry, it's
So I.
mistake, sir. It's coming. First one will be 12.9. Then it
1
will
minute
be.
দাঁড়াও who said 9?
Sorry, sir. It's
First
12.9.
one is 12.9.
12.9 plus J9.
12.9 plus J9.
J9 is coming, sir.
Friends, is it correct?
So for me, it's 15.58 plus J9.
Another answer. How
Sir,
a mathematics have another answer?
Sir, it's
A is equal to-
18.
sir, A
Sir,
is
it's
equal
9
to
root
15.58.
This is equal to 1 minute. This is equal to R equal to 18, theta equal to 30 degree.
15.58.
Okay.
Sir, yes,
And we
sir.
know A equal to R cos theta, B equal to R
Yes, sir.
sin
I
theta.
sin theta. Yes,
Just
sir.
Sir,
simple answer.
actually, I mistaken.
So this
A
one
is
is
equal to
12.9 is correct or not? Let me say
No, sir.
15.58.
15.58, sir. A is equal to
15.58. Okay.
15.58.
Okay. So please give me 10 second.
0.5.
15.5
B is okay, sir. JB.
J9. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you see how much time is required to convert A to its polar form and how much time is required to A in the Cartesian form. I think minimum 1 minute time is required because you are the beginner, you do it for the first time. So suppose 1 minute is required, or in the say exam, if you just find out this way, then say 30 second to 40 second is required at least. So in the AC, this type of conversion is required every time. Now remember what I want to tell. This is the main aim of this particular chapter. In AC, this type of to do the numericals which you need to do in the semester, this type of conversion, this is called the Cartesian to polar conversion, and this one is called the polar to Cartesian conversion. So this type of conversion is required every time, because suppose this is A1 and this is A2, because in AC chapter every time you need to record A1 plus A2 or A1 divide A2, and you know for the summation and subtraction you need to represent the complex number in the Cartesian form, and for the division and multiplication you need to represent that value in the polar form. So that polar to rectangle, rectangle to polar need to be known. So you people know the procedure. Now let me show you one thing. Where I find it, this one complex, where is this one? So this is my calculator. Hope everybody have the scientific calculator with him or her. And
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
if you people don't have any scientific calculator, then you need to buy a scientific calculator for the engineering. Without this one, you are not able to pass in the engineering. That one is very, very required, that device. Nowadays, the computer also become very, very essential. But this is the prime thing which is required to study the engineering, that scientific calculator. Whatever be the model, whatever be the company made, Casio is a very reputed company, but now the Orpat is also there for the lowest price model. But every calculator do the very good job. So that is called the enumerator. Enumerator means sometimes it's called the simulator. Simulator means using some software we are actually this formulate or implement this thing using a computer screen. That is called the simulator. Emulator means the same like a real thing, but it is actually the virtual. It is, I'm not bringing this one to my pocket, that is showing in the computer screen. So that is called the enumerator. So using a calculator, whatever be the model you have, you generally people have the Casio MX82. This 82 model is very preferred. So using the calculator, how to find out this conversion? That thing you require to know, because from the next day we'll do some numericals, and while you do the numericals, you see that every time while you do the AC numericals, you need to convert this rectangular to polar or polar to rectangular. First, let me convert this one. This one is what form? This one is represented in what form? First of all, this is what form?
Sir, Cartesian or rectangular form.
This one is sorry, Cartesian. Very good. So let me see. This is called what? This is called rectangular form. They are using actually rectangular form. So rectangular means REC. So this is the rectangular form. We want to find out in which form?
Polar.
Polar. So polar is represented like POL. Okay. So now you see, if you have your calculator with you, so you see that in the upper position of the plus sign and the minus sign. Oh, let me, can I zoom it? X3 zoom is also there. Oh, that is in the zoom. Sorry. So you see, this is the polar is written, POL is written, and rectangular is also written. REC is also written just above the minus button. First, you get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In your actual calculator, you will see the same kind of thing is written, polar and rectangular. Okay. Now, first we need to convert this one in the polar form. So I must press POL. How to press? That is in the shift function, because you see in the brown color. So I need to press shift and POL. So polar. Then we need to write the rectangular value. Means in this way, 5. Then we need to press a comma. Comma is in the top bottom of this closing bracket. Then 4. Then we need to close the bracket. So the meaning is that 5 and 4, this one is already represented in the rectangular form. We need to convert it to the polar form. So the desirable form should be written first, POL, comma, 5, comma, 4. Okay. And if you press the equal to sign, you see, instantly it will convert. R equal to 6.403, as your friend said. Sorry. And angle is 38.65. You see, in some of the calculators, suppose in Casio MX calculator, you will not get this one directly, because you see this is a this is the model is not written here. This is the means higher version of the Casio calculator. So here you see directly the R and theta value is given in the screen. But in the lower model, you will not get this one. What you do? If you write POL 5,4, you will get the value of R if you press the equal to sign. Then what you need to do? You need to press the recall. Okay, in that old model, recall, then this tan. Then you get the theta value. Got my point? Again, I am saying.
Yes, sir.
Again, I am saying. How to close this one? Close. So in the old model, you need to write it like this: 5, then comma 4. You need to close the bracket. But if you press the equal to sign, then only the value of R will coming 6.4 as. So in the screen, it is 6.4 will be showing. Then how to find out the value of theta in the old model? You need to press the recall, RCL, recall this tan. Okay, here obviously the error will coming, but in that calculator, if you press the recall tan, then this 38.60 or 65 value will be coming in the Casio MX calculator. So this is one thing, and if people require to know these steps, if people actually need to remember, so memorize these steps, because in the exam time, I give you guarantee every time this question came, and you need to do this polar to rectangular, rectangular to polar every time. So in that time, if you think how to do this thing, it will unnecessarily kill your time. So second one, we need to convert it to the rectangular form, because it is in the polar form. We need to convert it to the rectangular form. How? First we need to press rectangle REC. Then we need to give the polar value as 18, then comma 30, 30. We need to close the bracket. If we press equal to sign, in this model, the A and B value will come directly, or you can say X and Y. So it is 15.58 and Y value is 9. But in the old model, only the 15 value will come, 15.58 will come. Again, we need to press the recall tan to get the 9 value. So in this way, we need to convert the rectangular to polar and polar to rectangular using a scientific calculator. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So hope you people enjoy this one. So this is the polar representation, how to represent all these things. Then exponential from. Then next day we will start that how this complex number is related to the AC fundamentals chapter. And we will do some numericals also. You'll see we need to do the numericals, and in this numerical every time we need to convert, like this one 60 plus j 80. So we need to convert it, and after converting we will get the R value as 100, theta value is 53.13 degree. Then only we can do the division. Otherwise in this particular expression we are not able to do the division. So next we will go for this one. Now any queries? So my request is that whatever be the calculator you have in your home, please try at least 5 to 6 times how to convert this polar to rectangular, rectangular to polar.
So actually the scientific calculator I have, that is FX82MS, that doesn't have any polar button like polar or rectangular option.
Do one thing.
Yes, sir.
After the class, just take a very clear picture of your calculator in front and send it to my WhatsApp. I will give you the steps to converting polar to rectangular, rectangular to polar. Okay.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay. Any query related to this chapter?
So can you just show the slide?
Yeah. This one. Which one?
So the power in a general series circuit.
Power?
Power in a general series circuit.
Oh, general series circuit. 1 minute. Power in a general series circuit. This one. This one.
Yes, sir.
You want to ask something, or you just want to copy something?
So actually I missed one thing, so I have to copy.
Don't need to copy it in my class, because this thing is already available to you, and this all in my site, all these things are already available. And in my classroom also, in the classroom, the AC fundamental, the videos, all these things are there. In this one is not available in my site. In the classroom, you can get all these things. Let me show you. So in the classroom, this is the classroom. So AC generation animation, that is the video. I have already shown you the video how the AC is generated. Then module 2 AC fundamental. That is what? That is the this is a PDF, not the presentation. So where is the presentation? AC module 2 presentation. So AC circuit presentation. So this one is the presentation already there. So everything is there. I don't have anything to hide from my students. So everything is there in and that is accessible to the student. So if you go through, you can easily download this one. You can get all these slides. And whenever I modify this site, I just put the modified site in my classroom. Got it? So thank you very much for attending the class. If anybody want to mention his or her roll number who have not mentioned yet, or name, then
Roll number 12, sir.
Roll number 33.
one minute, please, 1 minute. Roll number 12, then
Roll number 33, sir.
sorry, roll number 33. Somebody said.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 1 minute. The class is already over. Those who want to leave, they can. Thank you very much for attending the class. We meet again on Friday. Okay. Next.
Roll number 23.
Roll number.
Roll number 31.
Oh, please, one by one, people.
Sir, roll number 23.
22.
23, sir, Vikas Dorji.
Oh, 23. Okay. Next.
Sir, roll number 19.
18.
19.
19.
Sir, roll number 3, sir.
1 minute, please.